Hi everyone, we are back with another renovation project. This time we are building an office in our garden as the final piece to the puzzle of our year-long house renovation project. Throughout this series, I'll be sharing the whole process from start to finish of undergoing a building project like this. Enjoy!
Thank you. Nice doing business with you. Thank you. Okay. First deal of the office.
Welcome to the office. Come in, come in. So, obviously this is Freddie's office, but I'm going to give you a quick tour before he moves all his stuff in. We are so thrilled with it. I cannot believe that we have created a room like this in our garden. So, I'm going to talk you through everything that we did and the colours and finishes that we decided on, and then I will go through the mistakes we made, our spend, and also a few tips for if you are planning on doing a garden office yourself. So on the walls we have painted it Lick 04 and it's a beautiful greyish white. We did go with an eggshell finish on it because it's wipeable, but Lick eggshell is super matte, so it doesn't actually look like eggshell at all, which I'm so pleased with. We did tongue and groove panelling on this wall, so we managed to get the 2.4 metre Travis Perkins tongue and groove, and they did it all the way across this little secret door here. And this is into a cupboard. This was part of the original design, so we did shed, office, and then a little cupboard here. There's not much in it at the moment. It will house our cushions for the outdoor furniture. In the summer, discreet. I like that they cut the door groove on one of the beading bits so that it can be as discreet as possible. Another finish that we've gone for is the brass Corston Architecture sockets. So we've got regular ones here, USB ones by the desk, so you know, computer, printer, and you can still charge your phone. And we've also gone for the dimmer switch as well. And all these finishes will develop a beautiful patina as this ages. We have electric underfloor heating in the room, which is going to be such a luxury in the winter. We figured that even though it's really well insulated, it made sense to have the warmth in the winter, and then obviously in the summer when it's really warm we will open those bifolds up and let all the summer breeze in. So it's a year-round weatherproof room. The flooring that we went with was from a local supplier, but I have linked the floor online. It is the Ryton flooring here. It's a beautiful kind of like ashy oak, so it's not too warm but not too grey, which is the happy medium for me in terms of wood colour. Okay, now over to the main office. So I guess I should talk about this feature piece here. We've gone for this beautiful chrome lamp from Heels. It is 100% the finishing touch to making this room that like beautiful mid-century vibe, but remaining very sleek still, and I love it. It moves as well. So I've got it here kind of in the corner, but you know, if you ever need extra light by the desk, you can move it, so that's very nice. And then we have gone for IKEA Billy bookshelves. So for the bookshelves, I wanted something really affordable and simple and sleek, so IKEA Billy is just the answer to that. I love that they just blend into the background, and that means that then the desk is the centerpiece of the room. So we actually spent quite a while trying to decide what furniture we wanted in the room. The desk and chair are really important in the office, obviously. It's where you sit and work all day. So Freddie's requirement was that the desk had to be long enough and deep enough, but not be a dining table. So I have this desk in my office in the light ash wood colour, and I adore it. So we went and got Freddie the mid-century cherry wood colour, which is just beautiful. And when we went in to look at it, they actually had this chair on display with it, and I would never have pairing them together because they are such a close match in colour, but it looks so good together, and we tried it out, and we went and tried out all those chairs, and it was so comfy. So it was like the one. It was actually his birthday present. He got an office chair for his birthday. I think that's like the most adult you can get, isn't it? Wanted to make that really the main like mid-century feature in the room, so then we paired it with this antique looking rug. This is from Ruggable, and I love Ruggable because all their rugs are washable, so you just peel off the top layer and then this goes in your washing machine and it's clean. So because we've got Miss Mucky Paws over here who's going to plan on spending a lot of time in this office, we needed a dog friendly and life friendly washable rug with those little paws. Love that contrast of that antique vintage looking rug against the sleek mid-century office and chair. And then behind me I've styled the shelves, and it's my favourite part. I love styling shelves. So we've moved all of Freddie's stuff out the house and into the office, which suits me perfectly. And also a birthday card that my mum painted for me once, and I thought it was so cute, so I put it in a frame. This is actually a map of Manhattan subway. It's actually Freddie's mum's. She got it in New York in the 80s when she was working there. And it has come to every single home Freddie has ever lived in that I've known him in. So it felt only right to put it on display as like the main piece of art in the room. What I've done as well is I've put command strips behind it and stuck it to the back of the shelf so that it doesn't ever wobble, because it is heavy. These are a little bit flimsy, so for safety, because it is a very heavy aluminium frame. Then to kind of soften the look, we've obviously got greenery. That's my favourite touch to styling. Adding in natural greenery plants. So just literally cropped from the garden. Works very nicely. And then I've got a little fern here. Ferns are probably my favourite plant. And then this is the lamp that I got from H&M. I got the base in the sale, and then I ordered the heavy lampshade, which I just love firm living lampshades because the linen is such good quality on them, and I think that that brown colour against the stone lamp just works really nicely. Of course, pride of place right behind Freddie's Zoom camera on his morning meetings, the wedding photo. And then we've got scent. Obviously scent is so important in a room. Rituals of Myrrh diffuser. It's like orangey, and just not only just the colour fit the aesthetic of the room, but I think the smell works really well in here as well. Nice citrusy and fresh with a little bit of like myrrh as a base note. And then we've got this is Beauty Pie, and it is the leather, violet and leaves, and it's so like smoky and woody, so I guess that works nicely in Freddie's office. Not much more to say because it's only one room, but yeah, we love it. And
who's in that frame?
And then obviously I'm on the shelf. Winnie is the real pride of place. She's on the desk. So there you go. Freddie can stare at his little love every single day whilst he's at work. This is where we keep our paints and gardening equipment. We also had the socket installed here so we can charge tools here, and then we've got a light switch so we get light in here, which is great for evenings. And then we've got bike hooks to hang on the wall, so not done them yet, but eventually we'll have the bikes hung on the wall here. So here in the shed is our electricity box, and that is supplying all the electricity to both the office and the shed, and it comes out here into this box, and then it runs against this fence all the way to the house, and then it connects back up to our grid at our main house. We spent £25,000 on this room. Now that was the budget we had in the beginning, and We ended up costing a few more things because we changed the cladding on the front of it, and also we added in a panelled wall, which took quite a few days of work, and obviously the materials that we had to pay for as well. So whilst that was an additional cost, however, we had some cost removed because I ended up sourcing some of the products that actually had been priced into the job initially. So it pretty much evened out. I think I actually spent £600 more on like the flooring and supplying other things. So 25,600-ish. That includes absolutely everything. It is a room built from scratch. It was designed to the size of our garden space that we wanted it. The whole structure and frame, the insulation, it's the underfloor heating, it's the bifold doors, it's all the reclaimed scaffold board cladding on the front that was cut down to size. Like, it's everything, it's the labor. Okay, mistakes that I made in here. It's not really big, but it's a bit annoying. I've got a single dimmer switch here which turns on both the indoor and the outdoor lights. I need to get a double switch so that the indoor and outdoor lights are programmed separately. So when you want light in the office, you don't have to put on the beams outside, and vice versa when we're in the garden and we want additional light in the garden, we don't light up the whole office. Other than that, there wasn't really any mistakes. I did order a switch plate that was the wrong size to the back box they'd already cut out, but I ordered a new one and it was here in time for the electricians to fit. So things like that I don't really consider a mistake because the room is how it is and the room is perfect. So it really is just that one dimmer switch that we need to change to a double switch. So my top tips for planning and building a garden office. First of all, consider what you're going to be using the space for. Now, if you do want to make it into a sleeping space, then you do actually need planning permission for that. So if there's any plumbing or running water, or it's going to be like habited through the night, you do need planning. These are popular as offices because that doesn't require planning permission. So just definitely have a think about that. First of all, for the legal aspect, and then secondly, how you want to use the room. So that will dictate where you want to have your entryway or what walls you want windows on. We were restricted to the space. We have a narrow garden and our office is as wide as our garden. So the only way we could have light in was on the front. We did consider skylights, but it just added an additional expense and we just didn't think it was that necessary. The room is flooded with light because that one wall in the room is pretty much all doors. But if you do have the luxury of space on either side, then you might want to consider additional light or windows or doors, how big you need to have your shed, are you storing bikes, how much space are you going to need in the storage area of the garden room. On the note of a shed, if you are putting in a shed, my next tip is absolutely put in sockets and a light switch in your shed. That means you can charge power tools there. My next tip, number 3, is really do speak to the experts. We came across a lot of hurdles that were just immediately dealt with by the company, and it was really handy. They were really savvy with everything, and it does help to take advice from an expert. They supply the architect, they supply the builders, and they supply all the product, and they'll supply the waste removal or the skip. Number 4, if you are supplying your own stuff, then make sure whatever you are needing to order as the client, that it is on site and has arrived on time or well in advance of when they're going to do the work. This is the same for every kind of building project, and if tradespeople show up and the products aren't on site, then you're still paying for their time. So it's a waste of money and it's a waste of time. So it's always good to have everything in advance. It's here, and then you can relax and know that it's going to be installed when they say they'll install it. Just remember on that note as well, if you are ordering the floor, then real wood flooring needs to acclimatise to the room it's going to be laid in. So that will be needed to order, you know, more in advance than that. My top tip for this is have a spreadsheet, speak to your builder and find out when you need each item on site, and then you can work it back from there. And my final tip is give yourself a time frame buffer for completion date. So everything has a desired completion date, but not everything goes to plan. It's really good, just like you factor in additional budget, factor in additional time, because there are lots of delays happening at the moment, shortages of a lot of things, and also COVID is still going around, and
if people are catching COVID, then no one can be on site. So just lots of things to be factored in for the delay. So it's good to keep an open mind about the completion date, and as always, get everything in writing and sign a contract, and both work to the contract, and everyone is well and good.
So that's it, all wraps up. If you have any questions about anything in the room, then obviously pop them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. And thanks so much for watching another one of our refurb projects. Next up is the garden. We are about to take on digging up the whole garden and laying patios and pebbles and lots of plants, and it's going to be chaos, but hope you can join us for it. So I will see you next time with another video. Bye!